What is up, Haunters, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a little bit more of a unexpected one because of course today I went back to Spirit Halloween. I think in total I was there for about 3 hours just standing around the store. Just kind of interesting. Of course I was there hanging out with Blow Up the Yard and also ran into that Halloween guy that was of course working there. And I didn't go there planned to really make any purchases. I knew one thing, I really wanted to give us another bag clip because they're really cool and I did want a new one for my backpack. And I wasn't really going to get an Animatronic because I'm planning to get Lantern Keeper once they get him in. But while I was there, they had Two-Face Teddy on display. And overall, he's one that I was maybe considering this year because for what he is, he's a really good deal. And honestly, he's one that I would like to have for my clown theme. So of course, after seeing him there and everything, you know, I just had to get him. So right here we of course have Two-Face Teddy, which we were boxing today. This guy is a pretty cool animatronic. He's about 6 feet tall, spins his head around in. Overall, he's a pretty good deal. He's only $165 here in Canada, minus coupon and the plus tax, paid around $140 for him, which is not too bad of a deal for like the 6-foot clown animatronic. And he'll be one that'll nicely fill up some space in my content because I know I have a little bit of empty room in there. So anyways, he's an awesome one. And of course today we're going to be unboxing him, setting it up, doing a review, everything. So with that said, that's it for the intro. Let's of course get right into send this guy up. But of course start off, let's of course check out some of the box. And of course, just gonna check him out in the studio, then we're gonna go out of here, sort of unbox him since he'll be a bit of a big one to set up. But anyways, right here you can see this is what the guy looks like right here. He's a pretty cool one. He reuses that head from Poor George, but instead of it where he like flips around to reveal the other, this guy instead his head spins around. Overall, it's really cool. And then I love the color scheme on this, black and orange. I don't think we've ever really seen that for a clown. Black and orange, definitely my favorite colors. So this costume on here, really cool colors on there. I love it. And some other stuff, of course, got a Spirit logo on there. It's called Two-Face Teddy. I was really hoping he'd be a Teddy animatronic at first, like a teddy bear. But this is what we got. I still love clowns, so he's cool. Yeah, head spins 180 degrees to reveal a different face. Awesome animation on him. He makes his hysterical laughing noises, which is a little bit generic. It's nothing too crazy, but it does sound alright. Yeah, new durable box. Weird that they're prone on this. Yeah, stands 6 foot tall. Really big one for his price. Yeah, there's the other face. You can see, of course, he has his happy one. And then his, like, scared-ish one. I don't know what you call that. It reveals the alternative face. Then, of course, on the side here, you can see some of the new box art they've been doing, which looks awesome. It's like an actual photo there and everything. Looks great. And yeah, the back right here, you can see there's his little story and everything. Of course, up here, you can see the price, $130 USD. Canadian is $165. Then, yeah, Moscow and everything. Then plus tax, paid only $140, which is pretty good. So, yeah, overall, awesome animatronic. And, yeah, that's enough talk for now. Let's, of course, get this guy unboxed now because I really want to get him set up and check him out. Alright, here, of course, is sort of the space we're working with today. Just going to unbox in my basement. But, yeah, let's go get into this guy. He's got a decently sized box. Feels like he's got some weight to him, so yeah, he's pretty well built prop, I assume. But open it up, of course, he's got that pull-out tray in here. And over here, some of the metal parts clinking around a bit. Yeah, let's, of course, pull this out right here and see what, of course, we've got going on in here. Of course, to start it off, one of the things we got right here, so of course, a little neck piece right here. It's just kind of about forming and everything. Next up here, this big right here, looks like it has the clothing and instructions. Of course, you can see right here is the instructions for him. I think it's a pretty simple setup. I believe he is Crazy Create. I'm not 100% sure. I think he's just because Poor George, I believe, was, but yeah, this guy is cool. Yeah, here's the color right here. You can see it's a nice black and orange color scheme. I really love that. It's like pretty thick clothing too, which is nice. Help mold it out. There's a little IR sensor right there, little pom-poms on there. Yeah, overall, it's kind of simple, but I do like it. Then, of course, we got his hands right here, which are separate pieces, which is weird. As you can see, just these plastic mold pieces, you know, they didn't add too much detail, which does suck a bit, but, you know, it's so cool. It's like just molded plastic, but that right there looks awesome. Of course, got 2 of these. Don't want to mix those up, I guess. And yeah, some actually pretty good shoes right here. Like, they're not the cheap like SBI ones. These are actually like full molded plastic and everything. They're good. Again, with these, could use some detail, but for what they are, it doesn't look bad. Of course, in here, we've got the adapter, which should be 6 volt, I would think. Yep, a 6 volt adapter for him, of course. And then right here, this is where, of course, we've got the head all nicely packaged right here so it doesn't get damaged up. And there we go. Right there, you can see that is the creepy face right there, kind of. And then this is the happy face, which is also creepy, I guess. I like how looking at it, you can't see the other side until it flips around. Like, if you have it at somewhat angle, like even there, you can't even see the other side. Like, his hair really blocks, or there you can kind of see a bit of the chin, but yeah, his hair really blocks it, so that is awesome. They really done a good job with the head design on this, which, of course, check that out a bit more later. Quite a few pieces, but also got these right here. These are, of course, the arms, which have the foams on them. They're great. Ooh, and then down here, we got quite a few stuff that's, like, zipped. inside in here. Right here, of course, you can see the mechanism, control box, and everything that, of course, we are dealing with. So up here, you can see it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's just on the head right there. A little bit of an interesting mech on there. I wonder how that works. Hopefully it holds together pretty well. I think it should. And of course, it has these plastic coverings again on the control box piece right here, which is interesting. Yes, taking that off, you of course can see the control box right here, which does look fairly simple. It's nothing too crazy going on there. Of course, looks like there's a battery compartment, which is interesting. Of course, we got the volume knob on there. Back right here, we got the speaker, and then on the side, we of course have got all different options. So yeah, of course, you have on, off, or step pad, or try me. And the spots, of course, for the IR sensor, speaker, step pad, and DC adapter. And this guy must be crazy great. This control box looks exactly the same to the Electronic Corpse unbox the other day. So, really cool. Yeah, right here, of course, got a bunch of holes right here. 6 in total. And yeah, of course, the last piece right here is, of course, the base right there, which is a little bit stuck in there. There we go. We got it out. Of course, pretty simple base. Nothing too crazy, but overall, that's all the parts. I'll lay them out and then we can get this guy set up. And of course, parts on this guy, a lot of stuff going on, so let's look through it. Of course, starting over here, we got the mech right here with the control box. We've got 2 arm pieces right here. Got 6 pieces right here, poles, which are all for the 2 legs, I believe. We got a base right here. We got a 6-volt adapter. Got a leg piece right here. Of course, got his costume right here, all one piece. We got his left and right hand, his left and right shoe, and then of course that awesome head right there, which we'll check out more in detail in the demo. So overall, that's all the parts. Let's get this guy set up. Alright, so even though we got a lot of parts right here, the setup still seems fairly straightforward. First step right here is, of course, with the poles right here. Looks like they are all the same. We're, of course, already going to be putting 3 of these together. And those, of course, are going to be connected onto the base right here. First, we have 3, which will fit on that side. And the other 3 right here we'll put together. These 3 will, of course, go onto that side right there. And yeah, right now it is a little bit wobbly. It'll definitely be more support once we put the other piece on up there. But I'm not sure which way is front or back on this guy. I don't think it really matters. I'm just going to put it this way so the snap locks in the back. But next up right here is, of course, going to be with shoes. We're going to put one onto each side of him right here. And these are both the exact same mold, so it doesn't matter which one goes onto which side. I'll move you up a little bit right here. Of course, next step is going to be with the costume right here. But for this, we are of course going to put the legs on each side, of course having the Velcro in the back. And there we go, that's just gonna sit on there for now. Next step though, of course, taking you all up a little bit right here. Next step is going to be with the control box right here, which this is of course going to connect onto each of the sides right here. And of course, just little snap locks here in the back. Now right there, he's definitely a lot more sturdier in the legs. And then of course, pointing you up a little bit more, next step is going to be with this piece right here. This, of course, just kind of sits on top right here. And it does look like the way it goes on is there's like one larger connector and then one smaller one on the one side. So that goes on right there. Just like that, and then that'll help shape out the shoulders. Next step here, of course, we're going to pull up the clothing, and then it's time to put on our arms. Of course, we've got one here for each side. Got a little fork hook connector there at the top. Yeah, it just goes on like that. Of course, the other one we've got right here, this one will go on to this side. Yeah, this just slides on right through here. Yeah, this just connects on up top here. Yeah, it kind of pulls clothing on a bit better. Next up is, of course, with the hands. We're, of course, going to put one on each side. Just making sure we don't mix up the left and the right. Those right there, just little snap locks that go in. And, of course, the clothing right here, you can sort of pull it around. There's a little bit of a loop here on the hand that this can go around, just like that. And then, of course, we got the other hand right here. This one's going to go on this side. Another just little pin type thing that goes in here. Pull this over, make it look good. And pretty much our last step is going to be with the head right here. Of course, just a little connector up here. It looks like you can put this on either way. I think for me, I'm going to have it start with the happy head looking out. So yeah, that just goes onto there. All right, then pretty much he's all set up. Last thing I have to do is just connect the adapter, make sure the wires are connected. And of course, fix something in the clothing. But overall, it's pretty much set up. So let's get to the demo. And here, of course, is a demo of Two-Faced Teddy. And yes, there, of course, he is everyone, which, honestly, I'm really happy I picked this guy up. He isn't one that I would say is on the very top of my list this year. There's definitely a lot of cooler stuff, but he's definitely one of the ones that are, like, definitely a more cheaper item that I would like to get because yeah, for this guy's price, he is so cool. Just how big he is and everything. His animation is pretty good. Definitely one of the best budget props we've ever seen from Spirit, I would say. And of course, getting to a review of him, of course. Check a lot of stuff about him. Of course, the animation's really cool. With the two heads right there, the one that side, the one on the other side. It's really cool. Yeah, the hair just really blocks both sides, which is really cool. So even look at this guy from an angle. You can't even tell there's another head back there. So that is really cool. Very effective sort of jump scare animation. I don't know what to call it with this guy. And yeah, just the detail on him looks amazing. Just look at this one head right here. You can see just how cool that is. I love it. Those eyes right there. Kind of like spirals a little bit. That's cool. Like a big orange nose on this side. The other side I think was black. It's like big creepy teeth right there. That is awesome. It looks like it's might be a little bit dented here at the bottom, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, the hair right here, which looks like it can't even be fluffed out a little bit more, which is nice. So that's awesome. Yeah, it's got a little neck ruffle on here. Has some little pom-poms. Our sensor's weird. Looks like they kind of like cut a little hole out there. Yeah, the polka dots on there. He's got the stripes. Of course, there's like hands right here. He's got his feet down there. Overall, the costume on this guy looks awesome. I love that black and orange color scheme. I've really been wanting to do stuff like that for a clown or an animatronic for years because black and orange, like, it's the Halloween combination. I'm surprised I haven't really done this too much before. It really works well for this guy. And yeah, the audio is the one thing that I would say. It's not the greatest. It's a little bit generic, but it's not too bad of an audio, you know, it's just clown laughing, typical, but it does work for him. And yeah, pretty big guy, around 6 feet tall right there top. Overall, he's a massive one and definitely worth it. So overall, final thoughts on this guy. I think I would have to give him a 9 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. Oh, he's a pretty good animatronic. I know there's quite a few people that have been hating on him this year, but I wouldn't say he's that bad of one. He is fairly generic, but still, just compare to a lot of the other stuff out there. This guy's a really cool, and especially for what he is, he's got a good design and everything, some good animation. He's also a really solid animatronic, and happy to have him for my carnival theme this year because I have been wanting another clown. It's been quite a few years since I got my last clown, so it is nice to have something else to fill up some of that space. So overall, an awesome animatronic. Of course, he retails for 130 USD or 165 Canadian. Which of course, with coupon, if you get him here in Canada, it comes down to around $130. And then of course, you add on the tax. So overall, not too bad price on this guy, honestly. So overall, great animatronic. Definitely one that I'd recommend. He is a great one. So overall, with that said, that's it for today's video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below your thoughts on this guy. Anyways, also next time, goodbye.